Hello and welcome to the Best Thing From podcast. I'm Kev.
And I'm Steve.
And what is that ticking noise that's going on behind me at the moment?
I don't really want to tell you because it was supposed to have killed you by now. I was planning on taking the podcast and running, but...
We all know how that turns out whenever you try and take control of the podcast, little fella.
And when I try and run, to be fair.
Exactly. We're sort of... iTunes have ruined us a little bit this week because they've sort of put us in the boiler room, I think, and we're sat next to what I assume is some kind of timer for a heating system. And I don't know if anyone at the other end of this microphone can hear it just going tick, 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 tick. And I'm guessing it's always been there throughout the whole 3 years that we've been podcasting together. But I don't know if it's because I've taken just the right level of medication that my senses are more acute. But I can really hear that ticking.
I am thinking that maybe our heart rates were perfectly in sync with it originally, and something's just given us a bit of a mild shock. Anna was banging upstairs earlier. She might have made us jump, and now suddenly we're out of sync, and we can just hear that.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to carry on with the rest of the show.
I think you should probably do a sound check, see if it's there. If you can't hear it, we'll carry on.
We already did that. My kidney really hurts today, sheepdog.
Did you drink something you shouldn't have?
Such as?
Anything other than water, I think.
I had a lot of coffee.
That's probably it, isn't it?
But I am drinking water. But earlier on, I bought a 12-pack of Highland Spring from Tesco because it's only £2 in there at the moment. I am smiling and there's a little glint in my teeth as part of that advert that I just did. And when I was drinking this as it was intended, no kidney problems at all. I then filled the bottles back up again with water out of the Brita water filter. It's not doing the same job.
Sure you're not allergic to it or something?
What, water?
You haven't, no, I meant the Brita water filter. You haven't tried the old trick of running vodka through it, have you?
Not specifically for this beverage. Obviously, I run my vodka through it whenever I buy vodka.
Yeah, that works with all sorts of stuff. I did a big old research bit on this one New Year's Eve.
When and why?
One New Year's Eve to see whether I could get away with just getting tons of cheap booze, running it through a Brita water filter, and then having it not. You know,
what does it do? Does it take the booze out of it? I don't know how it works.
You know, like you have triple distilled vodka.
I don't know.
Well, people buy it. They'll spend like 20, 30 quid on triple distilled vodka that's extra distilled. You could buy the normal vodka and run it through a Brita water filter a couple of times and then pour the leftovers into a bottle, and that'll be the same, triple filtered. Perfect.
Does it work?
I was buying this for me, by the way, in case anyone thinks I'm the cheapest host ever.
He's then pouring it into the expensive bottles that he found at the bottle bank.
Yeah. No, I actually put it into a watermelon.
Okay.
Through a funnel.
There wasn't really any point in going to all that trouble if you were just putting it in a watermelon.
Hear me out. Come on, there was. There was absolutely a point to it because you get a big funnel, put a hole in the top of the watermelon, put the funnel in, pour all the nice, perfectly distilled vodka in. Then, when you serve said watermelon at your party, everyone goes, this watermelon tastes completely fine and normal like any other watermelon. Completely untainted with vodka. And then everyone feels a bit tipsy and suddenly you're all drunk off watermelon, but you didn't really realise it was alcoholic. Although I did tell people I wasn't some kind of weird date rape person.
Served it up at a children's picnic.
But no, I'd served it up. We ate it. You could taste a little bit of the vodka. I was a bit disappointed to find that
you can always taste vodka. I've never understood it when people say you can't taste vodka.
Because you never had filtered vodka. The more filtered it is, the less it tastes like arse.
So all it does is take the taste away.
No, because there's that horrible kind of I'm stabbing you in the tongue with a knife feel on cheap alcohol, isn't there?
I assume that was all alcohol.
No.
Perhaps I've never bought expensive alcohol.
Probably.
I can't even say alcohol properly. I've taken too many tablets.
Yeah, it's smoother, isn't it? If you filter it, it's smoother.
Interesting. So what was the... It didn't work then?
It worked, but the watermelon didn't mask as much as I expected it to. I think it just tasted like nice vodka in watermelon flavoured vodka.
How much vodka does one put into a full-size, fully grown watermelon?
As much as...
Go around you poke through the skin of the banana while it's still sealed, and then sort of weave around inside it. And the idea is you're trying to wrap the thread around the inside of the banana whilst only piercing a hole on the outside of the banana. It takes ages, but you basically work all the way up the banana, slicing the inside of it before you've opened it, and then you put it back in the fruit bowl, and when people open it, slices of banana fall out.
That's genius.
That was from a book of practical jokes that I bought when I was a child. It wasn't even a book, it was a filofax full of practical jokes that I bought from the camping centre.
That's genius. I was sat there thinking, well, what would be the practical value of doing that? But that'd be good, not just as a joke, just to take to work, just to kind of open it up. Oh, it's already cut for me.
You could blow the minds of your children with that trick. If you've got the time to put into slicing up bananas while still in their skins.
My dad always used to be able to you get a straw and put it in an egg, top of an egg very lightly, and then take the inside of the egg out. We used to use them for like Easter things
Yeah,
at
that's
school
common
and stuff.
practice.
But
all parents have
I
that
can't
skill.
do that. I haven't tried since I've been a parent, actually. I've only tried, that's a practical joke, to take the inside out of eggs.
You do it in Tesco, don't you? You go in
all
there,
the time.
steal the insides of all the eggs.
I tell you what I do in Tesco's with the eggs.
This is a bad sentence.
I stand in the egg section, and then I'll see people buying the caged hen eggs or any of that.
Caged 10 eggs?
Caged hen eggs. And then I'll just start saying things about them to my wife. Just like, oh no, don't buy the caged ones. They're the ones where they basically live in their own poo and just sit there half dead for however many years, rolling out eggs constantly, getting older and more diseased, and just basically laying it on thick. Not even because I'm that, I'm not pretentious about chickens' livelihoods. I'm just kind of, I just did it for a laugh. But every time I've done it, I've gone a couple of aisles down and just seen a stack of caged eggs just sat on the side where people have heard me and put them back. And it works every time. It's brilliant.
And then you steal the insides from those eggs, make your own mayonnaise, and sell it back to the store.
I do. French mayonnaise.
What's the difference between French mayonnaise and ordinary mayonnaise?
I don't know the recipe difference, but I know the taste is completely different. French mayonnaise is the way forward, definitely.
Interesting. I like Belgian mayonnaise. When we had that on those chips when we went to Bruggers, Belgian mayonnaise was da bomb.
Probably the same thing. They probably just changed the country name depending on where you are in Europe. It's probably European mayonnaise.
Yeah. I want some of that then.
I've got one more vodka fact that I can either save.
Only one.
Save for our topic of the week.
Which is vodka, incidentally.
Or I can blow it now and then ruin the potential for a segue.
Now.
If you get a bottle of vodka and you fill it with Werther's Originals on top of the vodka, or anything like that, a suck sweet basically, leave that for a week, melts in, and you have toffee flavoured vodka.
That. Skittles
really?
Is the thing to do it with.
Really? My wife didn't know that. When I did that, she thought I was crazy, and the people again at this party thought that was amazing.
But it was a children's party.
Yeah. We had Glacier Mint vodka.
Skittles is the common thing,
Triple
isn't it?
filtered. Well, I tried Skittles in beer because I saw in The Simpsons once he ordered a Skittle Brow, and they said it didn't exist, and I thought, well, I'm going to make it exist.
I thought Skittle Brow was vodka with Skittles in. I thought that's what it was called.
Have we had this conversation before?
I'm not sure.
That might be the reason you think it's common knowledge, because we might have discussed it already.
Interesting. We'll have to consult the tapes.
Yeah, we will. iTunes will know. They keep a record of everything we say inside and outside of this building, don't they?
Exactly. So are we making Skittle Brow?
We can do.
Should we make it at the live show, which is just 1 week away? In fact, by the time this show is released on Sunday, it will be less than a week away. 6 days away.
Are you just suggesting we take a bag of Skittles along to the live show and just offer people
No, I'm
some in their
suggesting
beer?
people who are coming bring Skittles and we add them to beer. I'm not bringing my own Skittles. I'm a celebrity. Celebrities don't buy their own Skittles, and I want them all to be. I want them to be sorted according to colour as well. I don't want to put mixed colours in my beverages.
Yeah, because that just makes it brown. That's where I did try it with Skittles. This is again we have discussed this because I tried it with Skittles, and the vodka just went into a brown mucky mess with loads of white Skittles at the bottom, and it was disgusting.
Nice, but yeah, I want them sorted by colour. So I expect
you racist.
I expect everybody. Now, you can coordinate this amongst yourselves how you like. I either expect everybody to turn up with a pre-sorted selection of Skittles, or you can get together as a group and make it so that you all bring a different colour of Skittles. And I imagine you can arrange that in the car park if you want. And so we have one person brings all the red Skittles, someone else brings all the blue Skittles. Can you get blue Skittles?
You could in like a limited edition thing.
I thought that was Smarties.
No, I'm sure it wasn't. Unless it was like if you find the one blue Skittle, you win like £1 million or something.
That was Smarties. I'm certain that was Smarties.
See, I don't check the colour of them when I'm eating them. I just kind of,
Well, you drink a lot of your foods, don't you?
So I've probably swallowed so many winning prizes.
But then, after they did that, they released blue Smarties as a general thing. We are basically on the topic. It's sweets this week, boys and girls, and it's such an exciting topic. Getting back to Smarties, have you had any Smarties recently?
I actually don't like them.
Don't you?
I hate Smarties.
Do your small people eat Smarties?
I don't allow them in the house.
Okay, they're smaller than they used to be.
Are you sure? I know they do sell those smaller ones at Easter time.
Oh, okay, that might be it then. Because there was a Smarties Easter egg knocking around these parts, and it had tiny Smarties in. And I thought initially it was like the wagon wheel thing, where everyone thinks wagon wheels have shrunk, but actually it's just that we've grown. But I sat there analysing this Smartie for some hours, but I ran the numbers, and I haven't grown by that proportion. So that couldn't have been it.
Yeah. They're all getting really tight. I know one of the questions we had was like, is everything getting smaller? Have they made it all kind of, just cut the corners and that? And I'm just, they've just decided, haven't they, that to make everything smaller. And
I'm scanning through the list of questions, and I think you're making questions up again, because that is not on the list anywhere.
I
feel you need to credit the originator of that question.
I genuinely don't know who it is yet. Again, I never read who asks the questions. I just read the question. But somebody said to us, are they getting smaller, and why, and whatever. And did you see Aero? They've released a new shape Aero with more bubbles.
Explain.
Well, they just basically.
What do you mean by a new shape? It's not a bar anymore.
It is a bar, but it's rounded at the edges. So you've lost chocolate there.
It was always rounded at the edges.
But it's rounder at the edges now. So they've just shaved chocolate off the edge of it, and then they've filled it with bubbles, which means that where there was chocolate, there's now a big gap of air.
How big are these bubbles then?
They're just, when you eat it, it is bubblier. And I look at it and I think, well, that means I've got more air, less chocolate, surely, and it weighs less. So that's not good. They're advertising that as a benefit. More bubbles, new shape.
It's a diet food, isn't it?
I suppose they've made it a diet food now.
How many calories is an Aero?
I don't read calories. That's why I'm fat.
I'm interested in these things, because a Solero is only 97 calories. They have it all over the box. I can't believe an ice cream is only 97 calories. That doesn't sit well with me.
It's probably not ice cream. It's probably that other thing that doesn't have ice cream in it.
Talking of ice cream and sweets. Oh, you have seen them, because I gave you one. The little cornetto that isn't real ice cream. I remember when I was listening back to our earlier shows the other day, and at the end of one show, I gave you one of them and said, and on the next part, he'll tell you what he thought. And we never mentioned it again. So here we are, 8 episodes later. What did you think of the cornetto that didn't have ice cream in?
I was a little taken aback by it. I thought it was a bit unsettling. It wasn't bad, but
because you can get Magnums and mini milks and all sorts.
Oh, I'd probably try a Magnum.
Walls have brought out a whole range of non-ice creams.
See, I'm not a fan of cornettos with ice cream, so...
You're not what?
Cornettos
Cornettos are the king of ice creams.
Nah.
It's where they've got the lovely chocolate at the bottom of the cone. It's the food stuff of kings.
Oh yeah, I could take that. I'll take the bottom of a cone. I could just walk along just cutting the bottoms off of people's cones and eating them while they ain't looking.
You do walk off cutting the bottom off of people's cones. That's why you're not allowed in the ice cream parlour anymore.
Banned from a lot of ice cream parlours. But, yeah, I'm just not really a fan of them. It's not fun.
What's wrong with you? Should we do some listener questions?
We can do. Have you been up to anything this week? We didn't do that.
I've just been at work. I'm boring now. I've been at work and I've had a painful kidney. Do you want me to moan about my pain and my lack of sleep?
Yeah, I think that'll give us enjoyment.
I can do that until the cows come home. My kidney hurts.
Do you know, my week has just literally been... I was trying to explain this to my wife earlier today. She was off sick today, and I saw that as a good thing, because it meant I didn't have to spend my week sat in the same space on the sofa, just facing the TV, and it wasn't on because my son was asleep, and he won't let me put him down, and I just sat there holding him asleep, staring at the wall, thinking,
So she was off work ill, and you made her do that?
No, I actually tried really hard not to make her do that, and then... She got a letter through saying her car insurance was up, and I went, "Oh, I'll go sort that out." And then just spent the next 4 hours on the internet downloading games, and then ordered the takeaway. And she didn't have a takeaway; she had soup because she's not well.
You're a disgrace. And then you come out gallivanting here when you should be at home.
She's only got like a migraine. She's just sat with a headache. So, I mean, I'm not going for father of the year. Middle of the line.
I keep telling you, you're not her father.
Well, I'm not going for husband of the year then. I'm middle of the line.
Interesting. You don't want to set the bar too high because it's unsustainable.
Just going back a second, you just said you've not had a good week. It's been crap. You had a sore kidney. Wasn't it your birthday recently?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm 29.
You're not going backwards.